Okay, this is our group work from section 4.3. And I'm just going to explain a couple and then just put the answers up on the rest of them. So the first problem, it says, write the following percentages as ratios per 100. Or I could say as fractions per 100. So ignore the fact that a number like this may seem to you, oh, that's already a decimal. No, it's not. It's a percentage. So these are really easy. It's just a matter of 6% means 6 out of 100. That's it. Nobody said reduce it. 200% means 200 over 100. All right, so I'm going to pause this and put the rest of the answers in. So there's the rest of the answers for that. You can always pause this and take a look at it. All right, so 2 and 3 are similar, so I'll do 2 and then I'll put the answer down for 3. So you want to write 5/8 as a decimal and a percentage. Well, first I got to get it as a decimal. So I'm going to go on my calculator and go 5 divided by 8. And I get 0.625. Now as a percentage, what I'd like to think about is this. This is really 0.625 over 1. So if I multiply the top and bottom by 100, I'm going to get 62.5 over 100. Notice how similar this is to what we did in chapter 2 and 3 with equivalent fractions. Any number times 1 is itself. 62.5 over 100 is 62.5, and the 100 gets moved up there. Now, what I'm just trying to get you to understand, I'm going to take 5/8 of 240. So I'm going to find 5/8 of this number, which of means multiply. So actually I'll do this one in my head, but you got a calculator. 24 divided by 8 is 3. So that's 30. 30 times 5 is 150. Now, what I'm trying to get you to understand here is that this number is the same as this number. This is the same as this, is the same as this, so the answers are going to be all the same. So you try 3, and I will just fill in the answers. You can take a look. So there's the answers for 3. You can pause this anytime you want. Out of 4. So I'm just going to write the percentage as a fraction. I'll do 1 and do these other 2. So 50% means 50 out of 100. And that can be reduced, and I'm just going to reduce it even though it didn't say to 1/2. So finding 1/2 is the same as 50 over 100 is the same as 50%. And you can do these two, I'll put in the answers. So there's the answers. And so I'm going to do one of these. This is determine the percent correct on the following tests. Number correct, 42. Number of questions, 60. So here's the part, and here's the total. So I'm going to do part to total equals part to 100. So I'm changing this ratio into an equivalent ratio, some number over 100. So I'm going to cross multiply and divide. And hopefully you know how to do that by now. So this is just going to be 4,200 divided by 60, which is 70%. 70 over 100 is 70%. All right, so you can check your work on these two. I'm going to put in the answer. And there it is, that I rounded to one decimal place. So number 6, I'm just going to work this out. And, well, maybe I'll go through this one. You worked it out. Because I'm going to do this two different ways. I'm going to find out, well, you can just, I'm going to change these into the same denominator. Do that by going over 100. So, which student taking test form A got that much, and a student B got that. So student A is 52 out of 60. And what I'm going to do here is just divide this, and I get 0.866667. And this student got 65 out of 75. So basically I'm just going to change a fraction into a decimal. This one here is the same thing. So they scored the same. So I'm going to move on to number 7. Okay, so here's number 7. Now this is a little different. I'm being given a percent and total, right? So determine the actual number of people living in poverty. Now that's in thousands. So there's really not 20,000 people in Florida. There's this many. Alright, that's from the last chapter, last section. So I'm trying to figure out the amount in poverty. Well, I could just use these numbers, this one and this one, and then make a conversion here. Watch this. So really, I just want 16.2% of this number. It's like finding sales tax. So there's the setup. That's 16.2% of this number. I like to do it this way instead of moving decimals around, but you do what you want. And the answer is 3251.5. Now I want to put that number up here, but it's going to be 1,000 times more than that. So I'm going to move the decimal 3 places. So I'm going to get 3251, 1 place, 2, 3 places. So there'd be 3,251,500 people in Florida living in poverty. So you try these, I'll put the answers in. So there's the answers. You can hit pause and see how you got them. All right, I'm going to use mental math for this. I'm going to do a couple. You can cheat and go on your calculator, but you know, it's nice to be able to know these things, right? So 10% of 90. So 10% is the same as 1/10. And 1/10 of 90 is the same thing as 90 divided by 10, which is 9. 20% of 90 would be 18. So see if you can do those, and I'll put the answers in. So there's the answers. I kind of did them all in my head. I kind of like this one. What I did is 100% of 80 is 80. 10% of 80 is 8. Well, if 10% is 8, 5% is 4. Add those three up, you get that. So that's 8. Now 9. I'm not sure if you can see these numbers too well. I hope you can. You could probably zoom in a little bit. All right, this is how Americans spent money, and these are the different categories they spent money on. So it's a pie chart, so if you add up all the percentages, hopefully you know they would add up to, 100%. So these are all parts to the whole. So it says, consider the median income was $52,250 in 2012. How much money, on average yearly, did the average American spend on housing? Okay. Well, here's income. Housing is 33%. So it's going to be 52,250 times 33%. So I'm going to find 33% of this number. And I'll put the answer in, and then I will see how much money. Transportation, I don't know if you can see it, it's 17%. I'll put that there. And food is 13%. So I'm going to pause this and put the answers in. And I'll try to adjust that so you can see the answers. All right, now to the last one. So this is a little bit different because these are the number of people in millions that have no high school diploma, or they have this or this. And this is, we're trying to find the number of these people living in poverty, and I'm given a poverty rate. But this is not a rate per 100, this is a rate per 1,000. So I'm going to do this one, and then I'll put the answers in here. So if the rate per 1,000, that means there's 306 people living in poverty for every 1,000 people in this category. So there's my first ratio from here. And that's 23.5 million. And this is in millions, and it wants the number of people here. So let me just get the millions first. The question is, where does this number go? Does it go in the numerator or the denominator? Better think about it. Well, that's the number of people. You certainly can't have more people living in poverty than there are people in this category. That would be crazy. So this is clearly the denominator. I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. Make sure you know how to cross multiply and do this, right? 1,000 times x equals 306 times 23.5. Divide by 1,000. Divide by 1,000. X equals, and I get x equals 7.191. You can, of course, pause this anytime you want, right? But that's millions. Here it wants people. So that's 7.191 million. And hopefully by now you know thousands is 10 to the third. Millions is 10 to the sixth. 3, 6, 9, 12. Thousands, millions, billions, trillions. I gotta move this decimal 6 places. So it's There's moving at 6 places. That's the number of people. So I'm going to put these answers in. And there's the answers. And if you had a problem, go back and follow my logic here.